What's going on, Q Crew? Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Suave Q, aka the Q Pill, and you guys are tuned into the Q Pill podcast. Now, today's show, I got a dose of moronic fuckery that we're going to be reacting to, and it's the fact that Bronny James went to prom with a white girl and has the black community in outrage. To no fucking surprise. But before I get into it, make sure you guys go ahead and hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications, share this content with your family, your friends, your colleagues, your peers. Let them get a dose of the Q Pill as well so that we can all overdose on this logic, this objectivity, and these facts. Let's get into it. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with Bronny, Bronny is the son of LeBron James. He's LeBron James Jr. He attends a school out in Chatsworth, California, and the name of the school is Sierra Canyon. It's a small private school with about 1,100 students, 65% in which are white. And I say that because it's important to know these things, because as Bronny James's attraction and romantic interest continues to develop in women, he's going to become fond of what he's in close proximity to and what he's exposed to on a daily basis, which would probably be white women if he goes to a white school. And that's the case here, as he is going to prom with a white girl by the name of Peyton. She's a senior, class of 2022. He's class of 2023, and they're going to prom together. Some pictures surfaced on the internet, and it has the black community in outrage. Black women in particular, which is funny because every time there's a picture of a black woman and a white man that hits the internet, black women are in ovation. They give a standing ovation. They give a round of applause. They want to scream, "Go Queen," and "Yeah, go get your man," and all these other types of affirmations that just show their full support of a black woman dating a white man. But when it's a high profile black man and he's dating a white woman, they don't like that too much. You see, they seem to have an inferiority complex. They seem to know that they have to compete with white women for high status males, and the fact that they don't always appear to be on the positive end of mate selection, they take serious issue with that. Now, I want you guys to take a look at this picture. This is the picture that hit the net. This is LeBron James and Peyton. And might I add, before this picture surfaced, she had about 8,000 followers from what I've seen. Over the past 5, 6, 7 hours, her follower count has shot up to 30,000. It's crazy what dating a high status male can do when no one knows who you are as a woman. I always say a woman's status corresponds to her mate. If you're dating somebody who's big time, you instantly become big time because the person that you're dating, the man that you're dating, is big time. But this is the photo that had them in outrage. So I did what I normally do as a behavioral scientist. I need to see how people typically respond, and I already knew what it was going to be with black women. So I took to Instagram, to the comment section, the Shade Room, Hollywood Unlocked, places where the IQ is about that of an amoeba, and you're going to typically see that demonstrated by the comments. So when I went to the comment section, these are the type of comments that I saw in response. "Come on, Bronny, your mama a queen." Now that one has validity because she's married to the king. So by virtue of being married to the king, she is indeed a queen. Rarely do you hear them call a black woman a queen, and she actually is, because they're delusional. But in this case, that is actually a valid comment. The next one: "In love with the mayonnaise I see. Mayo monsters win again." Now, as you guys can clearly see, the blatant display of overt racism that we are observing. Now, if they were to say anything like this about black people, if white people were to say anything like this about black people, they'd be canceled. They'd be fired from their jobs. They'd be ostracized. Hell, they might be banished from America with the way things are currently going in politics. And this comment is interesting. Mayo monsters win again. Because I just highlighted that women compete for men, and black men are the most desired race by black women. So when black women desire a high profile black man and he chooses a white woman, oh, it's personal for them. It's personal. They feel betrayed. The feelings of disgust and rejection are astronomical. in the mind of a black woman. And this is the typical response we're going to continue to see as we see these black men in prominent positions date white women. Although it's rare statistically, it's the fact that they keep highlighting it in the news and media that makes it seem like it's more prevalent than it actually is. But that would be a rational perception to take. And the black community is typically the opposite of rational. We lost another one. This is pro-black ideology. They somehow are under the impression that, for one, Bronny James was a part of their community. The Wakanda Forever Coalition. He was a part of that, and he decided that he was going to secede from them and go do his own thing, gain his own independence, be a man of his own thought and his own decision making. He decided he was no longer going to be a monolith with the black community. He was no longer going to think the way the tribe thinks. This tribalism mentality is deadly. Another comment. Oh, this one is good. Now, I'm with this one. I don't blame him. My sisters be 3 baby daddies in talking about they want a man with no kids making $100K. That is true. And that is a very valid perception, because this is what a lot of black women want. They want the top man when they aren't themselves even qualified to be with that top man as a woman, based on what she has going on for herself and the poor decisions that she made and the type of woman that she is. His mom, a strong black woman. I don't get it. Of course you don't, because you don't understand that the human brain is attracted to certain things, and when it comes to physical characteristics such as waist to hip ratio, healthy skin, symmetrical faces, things that are scientifically proven that we are attracted to cross-culturally, men especially to women, regardless of their race or ethnicity, you aren't aware of that. So of course you don't get it, because that would be a logical explanation, and black people don't operate on logic. Black people operate on emotion. Their affective systems override their cognitive systems, and they aren't cognizant of the fact that they aren't thinking. They just react. They see something they don't like, they perceive something as disgusting or shameful, or they feel this sense of betrayal, and they just react. They just react emotionally to whatever stimuli is there that causes them to react. Our brother is lost. I don't think Bronny would consider himself anyone's brother other than his actual brother, Bryce, and his sister Zuri. I knew he would take a white. You guys see, this is the overt racism that black people are displaying over a boy that has no idea they even exist. A high school student. He's 16 years old. He has no idea these people exist. Yet their lives are so miserable and pointless that they follow around a high school boy and worry about who he's dating and who he's going to prom with, because they have nothing else to do with their lives themselves. Surrounded and raised by black beauty, and still chose Wonder Bread. We just established that he's probably in school the majority of the time, and considering the fact that he plays basketball, he's probably in school the majority of the time. He's, regardless of how beautiful his mother is, regardless of if she's in his life, that has absolutely no bearing on his attraction to what men are typically attracted to. Cross-culturally, men are attracted to the same physical characteristics in women. Curves, a good waist to hip ratio, breasts, symmetrical faces, good skin, pretty teeth, pretty lips, whatever the case may be. Men of all ethnicities are attracted to women of all ethnicities if they share these same physical characteristics. And as you can see, Peyton is not an unattractive girl. She's an attractive girl. So most men would find her attractive regardless of their ethnic background and regardless of the fact that she's white. Lost another brother. Still this tribalism mentality. How do y'all expect the white supremacists to fight white supremacy by sleeping with its daughters? How do you expect to fight white supremacy by sleeping with its daughters? If anything, that would be the solution to the problem. That's integration. That's literally how we would solve that problem. If we can mate and create to where we see that we're actually one and races are not typically that different as we treat them as if we're different species of human. We're all Homo sapiens sapiens. The fact that we can come together and actually develop romantic connections with other races, I think that would be a vital step in actually eliminating racism. But also, not basing everything on the merit of race would be a pretty significant factor in eliminating racism as well. But see, the more we continue to highlight someone's race and what role their race plays in outcomes of society that we don't like, the more you continue to inflate racism. The more you continue to fan the fire, fuel the fire. So I would think in order to eliminate race or to eliminate white supremacy or to eliminate any form of perceived racism, we could overlook race. We could pretend that race isn't the predominant factor in determining the decisions that we make that results in outcomes that we don't like. I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but as somebody who's studied psychology for a significant amount of time and as a behavioral scientist, I'd say that goes a long way in defeating white supremacy. Lord, Bronny got him a sun dodger. Sun dodger, that's crazy. When I go to the beach, I see mostly white people. Can they ever get a black woman? I mean, yeah, if they wanted one, if there was an eligible black woman that they felt met them standards that they wanted to date. But that's rare nowadays too. Because most of the time, men who are intellectually adept, competent, successful, first of all, throughout our adolescence, we got curved by black women because we were too nerdy or wasn't thuggish enough or wasn't dope enough, didn't have enough swag. But then we grew up and we become successful and black women shame us for gravitating towards the groups of women who like us for the way that we are, who are attracted to our intellectuality, who are attracted to our swagger, who are attracted to things that black women were repelled by. These are the type of factors that people don't think about because people don't think, especially the black community. They just react to things they don't like. Damn, no love for the sisters. There's no sisters at his school for him to show love to. There's more men at his school than women. There over 450 of the 888 white people are male. I believe the ratio is 53% to 46%, 54% to 46% male versus female. So even if there were black women, they still outnumber the women. These athletes love them a bunny, but cute though. Hey, if it ain't snowing, we ain't going. We already know that. If it ain't snowing, we ain't going. How you got a black mama and a white prom date? Again, no correlation. I have no idea where this irrational idea that you have to date someone simply because your mom is that race. You have to date someone of that same race. If anything, that's a little perverse. That's a little weird. The last thing I want to do is date somebody who looks like my mom. I'm not attracted to my mom. That's disgusting. Nah, he disappointed me with the white girl. Imagine feeling disappointed over somebody that you don't know and they don't know you exist. He already lost. I don't know how he lost. His prom date is beautiful. He has the internet in outrage. He's rich. He's young. His dad is LeBron James. Where exactly did he lose? Oh, because some random on the internet who wish he had the life that Bronny James has and is jealous and it's evident. These people are just simply hating. And some of these are men. Some of these are men. Some of these are simp ass black men who were raised by single mothers who have taken on the mentality of a female, and that's why they behave in the irrational ways that we're currently observing. His daddy ain't a kid from Akron for this. Savannah, get your son. We don't think Savannah is the one that actually approved. We don't think that Savannah is the one that took the picture. Or any of these not possibilities, even if she didn't. Do we honestly believe that Savannah doesn't know about Peyton? Bronny, you follow all your dad's steps except one. You know, the only thing Bronny followed was the fact that he played basketball and his name is LeBron James Jr. If anything, Bronny himself has stated that he doesn't want to be seen as his dad. He doesn't want to follow in the footsteps of his dad. He wants his own identity. He wants to be his own man. Bronny himself has said this. He's articulated this. Those were just some of the comments. Those were the best comments that I could pick out that highlighted exactly just how illogical and irrational and irate the black community tends to get when a black man dates a white woman. As if he owes the black community any form of loyalty. A bunch of people that he doesn't even know exist. A bunch of people who have no bearing on his life, and they have they have no bearing on his, or he has no bearing on their life, other than them seeing him on the internet and deciding that they're going to be outraged and virtue signal and try to deem him or ostracize him for simply not wanting to be who they think he should be in their heads. But he has no idea they exist. If you guys understood how problematic this racist tribal mentality is, this tribalism mentality is, it keeps us at the bottom. It keeps us at the bottom because we don't allow ourselves to expand past seeing race. We complain about racism, yet we ourselves base everything on a phenotypic characteristic, an immutable trait that we have no control over. That is a simple evolutionary result in response to our environment. This is what we love to do. This is what we love to do. And we talk about killing white supremacy. We talk about eliminating, white privilege and all of these other things that we love to fall victim to in our minds. Pretend that we are victims of things that are just arbitrary. Now, by today's definition and today's standards, these things that have no significant impact on our development, on our choices, on our outcomes. Bronny James is a 16-year-old high school kid just trying to have some fun. And he's being talked down upon, humiliated on the internet because he's attracted to a girl that most men on the internet will find attractive. And the same black simps that's bitching and complaining in the comment section, they be the same ones to jump in her DM if she was to let them know that she was interested in them as well. That's the funny thing. See, we try to act like we operate on principle, but we typically operate on emotion as it's demonstrated here. And attraction is an emotion. So when we see a woman who's attractive, regardless of her race or ethnic background, if she's attractive, then she's attractive. Even the most pro-black man would be willing to get one off for a woman who he just can't resist because she has the evolutionary traits that she's evolved in order to attract men present on her body. The same goes for black women. Same goes for black women. This is just jealousy. Because at the end of the day, women compete for mates. We all compete for mates. So when the type of mate that you want is seen with someone that you're not, or someone who possesses things that you don't, you get offended. You get triggered. You're sensitive to it because you wonder why they chose that person and not you. Well, it's simply because you aren't them. There's things about you that you don't possess, but it doesn't have to be limited to skin color, and it doesn't have to start with skin color. It could start with actual factors that play a significant role in attraction, such as proximity, him going to a school with white girls, exposure, him always being around those white girls. Because if it was a predominantly black school with predominantly black women, chances are he'd be going to prom with a black woman. Oftentimes, it's just quite simply that. We like to overcomplicate simple concepts in life. We like to look at logical things through an emotional lens and respond emotionally without simply thinking. Bronny James, go enjoy yourself, bro. Have fun. And if you do decide to do what make sure you wrap it up. Ignore the haters on the internet. The black community, they'll be all right. Let them bitch. Let them complain. Let them moan. They have no impact on your life. You have no impact on their life. You have no idea they exist, and they can just watch from the internet. That's it. And if you ask me, this is going to be the state of the black community for a long time. Irrational, illogical, irate. Not willing to sit down and be open and receptive to logical possibilities, logical explanations, ones rooted in scientific truth that applies to every human regardless of race. Things that are scientifically valid that can be demonstrated and quantified cross-culturally. That isn't just limited to one group of people. And I'm going to leave it there for today. I'm Suave Q, aka the Q Pill. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Over and out.